Hey guys, welcome to Cars and Health Bars. On today's episode, we're going to be ripping into our Dodge Charger Challenger owners. Also, we're going to be talking about console wars. Let's get right into it. So this might be something that you haven't came across, because I came across this news just fresh. I mean, I've seen it before we even started the podcast, but did you see anything about the Mustang GTD?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, is that a thing?
Yeah, that thing's cool.
Is it something that's came out a while ago? Because whenever I watched it, it was like they unveiled this hours ago.
No, they've been knowing about that for a little while now. It might even be out now. I'm not sure. No, it's 2025. Okay, but they've already announced it for a bit.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's going to be kind of wild.
$300,000 car.
I know,
and it's going to be hard to get as a GT40 or something. I mean, or the new Ford GT. My bad.
So I heard that they're not really meant to compete with the C8s, which is kind of odd. I wonder why they would say that, because of the production, because of the power. You know, they're kind of set up like the C8, but instead of having a mid-rear engine, it's got a mid-front engine.
Yeah, which is pretty much a C7.
So I don't know. What makes you think that why they put out that statement that is not meant to rival the C8? Do you think it's because of production?
It's just kind of in its own class. It probably would gap ties a C8, to be honest. I mean,
yeah, a supercharged 5.2. I mean, like, sheesh. And
it's the GT500 engine, pretty much. I think.
I read too that all the people who are designing it are the same company that designs the Ford GT. So a lot of the aesthetics and the build of the car is going to be pulled from the Ford GT, and that's like god tier car.
It's a 50-50 weight split, unlike the regular Mustang. It's saying here the new GT500s are 56 front, 43 rear, so they're light in the rear, just like not as much as a truck, but they're light in the rear, and that's pretty typical. That's why you see all these Mustang guys, doing Mustang stuff.
Mustang stuff.
But it's got some wide tires, 345s in the back, 325s in the front. That is
huge tire.
And it's dry sump, just like, I'm guessing it's kind of similar to a C7, but this could be a full, like, crude dry sump, because the C8, or my bad, C7s, they're not true dry sump. They use a pickup tube and an oil pump still. They're not fully separate oil pump, like, with that mounts directly to the pan and picks up oil there.
Huh. Yeah, I was shocked about the tire size too. I was like, golly, 345s in the rear, that is enormous tire. Like,
yeah, it's kind of funny. The GT500 only revs to 7,500, it says, but I feel like it could do more.
I thought Coyotes revved out like super high up.
It's got some adjustable suspension. I think it's similar to a what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, I don't think it is like I'm trying to think it's like the 1LE Camaros and...
Oh, okay.
The Magna-Ride, it's not like that.
See, I did like the aero that they have on there, though, and they've got the cuts in the fenders, or the wide body.
Active aero?
Yeah, that is so sick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to see on track cars.
Yeah, the only thing disappointing about this, the GTD, is with them being so limited and so expensive, I doubt we'll ever see one in the street, and I doubt we'll ever see one at a car show unless we go to something like huge.
Oh, no, you'll never. Yeah, we'll see it at PRI, probably.
Yeah, that kind of sucks, too, man. That car is so unique. Like, I like how they took the body of the Ford Mustang and just, like, made it exotic. Like, they've got the big wing, they've got all the active aero, the wide body, the wide tires. It's such a unique car to see.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's got active aero in the front too, man. This thing is just crazy. It's got a carbon underbody too.
I was talking to my stepdad about this, and it was kind of news to me, and it probably will shock you, but I didn't know that originally. I don't know if he said, I think he did say American sports cars were mid-engine.
What did he say?
He said that originally American sports cars started out as mid-engine with the Corvette.
Well, I think the first Corvette was technically mid-engine.
That's just incredible, man. It's like, because people like me who are naive and kind of, relatively new to, especially the history of cars, you think back to, in my mind, a sports car is, a 67 Mustang, or, like an older first generation Mustang or
C1
Camaro.
isn't. But it's not as the Corvettes aren't your typical front engine. They are behind the drive wheel or the front wheels. They're never even with it, or like ours are behind too, but they're way back there on the Corvettes. They really balance out good.
And that's kind of where they took the whole like Stingray thing, correct? The Stingray's known for its super long hood because or super long front end because it's got to make room for that engine being pushed back behind the wheelbase.
Yeah, the C2 is actually a really popular track car when it came out too. If you ever go to the Corvette Museum, I mean, they talk about it there.
Was the C2 the one that came? Some of them had the split window, or was that a C3?
Yeah, 63.
Okay, yeah.
63 was the only year they did the split window.
Those were like notoriously like one of the longest Stingrays that they ever made. I mean, those things were like boats.
I think the C3 was like the boat.
Oh, really?
It's longer for sure.
I get them kind of mixed up sometimes. It's kind of funny too because it kind of looks like a submarine because you've just got like this little like doghouse and then this super super long front end. Just looks so goofy. It looks like a shoe kind of.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just wanted to get on that little tangent before we got started. But of course, you heard in the intro, we are here to talk to ye old Dodge Charger Challenger owners. If you want to take a break from calculating your 60% interest rates and listen to what we have to say about your financial decision to buy yourself a land yacht. I mean, I'll kind of just let you take the stage first on kind of what you would say to a Charger Challenger owner if they wanted to actually take the time to listen to what you had to say.
What do you mean? Like, what are you trying to, like, me persuade them to maybe buy a GM or Ford?
Yeah, like them
kind of sway them away from Mopar,
right? Or just like disses that they need to like be aware of that they might not
sure.
be.
The number one diss, I'm sure they're aware of it, but I just gotta mention the banana guards. I get why people like it, but take them things off, man. They don't do your PDI right at the dealer or something. They're supposed to be off. It's crazy they leave them on. It's popular, I guess. It's the only car that's popular on is the Charger and Challenger.
It's like they want to show off, like, my car's new. It's still got the guards on it.
I mean, you see our cars like 60,000 miles.
It's like people that leave the film on like screens and stuff. Like it's still new.
Yeah, for real. It's still new. I'm protecting it.
I'm protecting it for the next guy.
Under there, it's gonna look like trash after a long time if you don't take them off and clean under there.
The paint's all faded on the whole front bumper. They pull those canards off and it's just like shiny, like brand new.
Like brand new. That's why I don't like that kind of stuff, or like stickers on your roof,
Yeah.
But I guess we can go into the next thing, that you're gonna hear every Mopar guy get called out for, and that's just being slow. Yeah, I don't know how to sugarcoat it, but if you ain't in a Hellcat from factory, you ain't pushing nothing, dog.
I was gonna say we gotta exclude our Hellcat Demon owners on this one, but yeah,
they are fast. They're not bad at all from factory, but the boats just don't be competing with the Camaro and Mustang. I mean,
what do you got against the Pentastar?
I got the Pentastar.
Yeah.
What, the V6?
Yeah.
That thing's just like every other V6, Every bitch that owns the V6 Charger doesn't do her maintenance. And after like 60k miles, the phasers are just like, I'ma head out. Common chain guides, I'ma head out. Like, it's just like any other 3.5 EcoBoost or 3.6 GM. They're all like that. I can't really hate on just Mopar because it seems like all our, domestic manufacturers just put out the shittiest V6s known to man. Excluding maybe Ford a little bit. I am kind of biased to the Ford ones. They're all right. They got their issues, but they're not the worst.
So I don't know how much you know about the 392 versus like your normal 5.7, but I hear so many people like say don't buy the 392. It's not worth it. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I kind of agree with that from I'm not keeping it stock standpoint.
Oh, okay.
Because if you're modding, the 5.7, let's say, right? You want to add some boost. We've done multiple boosted stock bottom end 5.7s. They work. Like, you can do it with decent amount of boost and timing. You don't gotta go crazy on stock bottom end, obviously, but they hold up to a bit of abuse. But I don't know why it is. I don't know what it is about the 6.4. I think it is not 6.1. I think it's 6.4.
Yeah.
But they don't hold boost. Like, they consistently will have issues on stock bottom. It's like a Gen 1 Coyote for some reason. They just don't hold boost. Like, straight up.
They're just doomed to fail.
So 392 specs are pretty sad if you want to know them right here. I just got the oh, hold on. I was about to be wrong. It's showing up a Wrangler.
Oh no.
It's the same power, but the 0 to 60 was like, I was like, this is sad.
It's probably not that much more impressive if we're going to be honest.
Nah, I mean, it's the same power. It's 0 to 60 is actually worse.
Oh no.
My God. You're kidding me. The Wrangler out 0 60's a Challenger.
Oh my God.
It's 4.8 seconds to 4.9 on the new SRTs, the 392s. So already worse than a 5th gen Camaro. Not even going to try a 10-speed 6th gen. You know, we're not even going to mention that.
My God.
Curb weight, 4,300 pounds. 480 horse, 475 foot-pounds of torque. Pretty basic, you know. Good power, but that thing just doesn't put it down, apparently.
Did you say 430, 4,300 pounds?
Yeah.
That's kind of shocking. I thought for sure they weighed more than that. These G8 guys need to shut their mouths then to calling them
they
boats.
as much as a G8. They got no room to talk.
G8s weigh 44 or 4,500 pounds. Dang, I didn't know that. Yeah, these G8 guys need to stop calling them boats. They need to take a look in the mirror.
Yeah, so the new Challenger 5.7s are only 375 horse out the box. But I really don't mind them at all. They're not bad at all. Like, you're spending a lot less money and you're getting a very similar option in speed. It ain't showing me it's saying the Challenger RT 5.7 to 0 to 60 and 4.8 to 5. So it's literally the same 0 to 60 as the SRT 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would choose the 5.7 if it holds aftermarket mods better. It's literally a no-brainer. It's the same speed as everyone knows you buying the SRT 392 because you can't afford the other SRT. Let's just be real.
Why do you think people get tacked with so much interest on the Charger Challenger? Do you think it's just because the people, like the most broke people, are like, that's a fast car? I don't know nothing about cars, but I know that Hellcat's fast, and I might not be able to afford the Hellcat, but I can.
Dude, it's the Mopar guys. I'm not even going to mention
Mopar brain.
Nah. Chrysler 300 owners.
No, dude. I've heard so much stuff about those cars. I heard they're just doomed to fail from the start. Like, the worst modern-day car. Like, that's why they don't make them no more.
I like them when they're 5.7 or, like, Hellcat swap. I love them, man. But, you know...
People just like them because they look like Bentleys and they think they're cool.
Let me look up the weight here.
Oh, on a Chrysler 300?
Same as a Challenger.
Oh, really? I was going to guess like 45.
Yeah. Not 43.
Well.
0 to 60 is... Oh, hold on. This can't be right. I got to make sure it's the RT.
Well, look, I was going to say, I don't think does the Chrysler 300 come with a V8?
Yeah. Luke had one. You don't remember?
No, I do not. I thought they just came in the V6.
No, they got a Hemi 5.7. Okay. I can't believe you didn't know that.
No. So they kind of have the same setup as like the G8s. They got the V6, V8 from the four-door sedan.
They are 15.7 from factory.
15.7.
Oh, hold up. This might be wrong. This guy was complaining that it says that.
Yeah.
0 to 60 is 6.3 seconds in the V6, and then the V8's 5.3. So it's worse than the Challenger.
Jeez.
It puts down the power even worse.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I just got probably these Chrysler because I had one call me out recently. We're going to talk about this guy.
Oh no.
This guy looked like he still lived in his mom's basement at 35.
Oh my God.
He's driving this lifter ticking Chrysler 300, and I didn't know this. I walk into the gas station, and he's asking me. I saw my uncle, so I talked to him, and he's hanging out with my uncle, my great uncle, and my uncle gets to talking to me about my car. And I show him some photos, and the guy saw, and he's like, "Oh, nice car, man." But apparently, after I left, Matt was in there, and they didn't know Matt and me were, together.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Yeah, I'd hate to tell." He just randomly tells Matt, "Yeah, I'd hate to tell that boy, but I got something for that Camaro,
Oh my God!
the
Every
stock
boomer.
Chrysler 300." I'm putting down 500 horsepower to the wheel and like 530 foot-pounds of torque.
I guess a stock Chrysler 300 making no
You gonna
power.
tell me my car 4.3060 from factory is not gonna beat yours 5 second 0 to 60? And by the way, mine's not stock now, so it's more like a 3 second, high 3 second 0 to 60 if I can hook up.
I'd try racing that Chrysler 300 in a stock Catfish and see what would happen. I'd probably at least
Oh, the Catfish would gap in.
a stock Z28
sure.
Catfish. I would just wipe
For
that
sure.
smile off his face. Oh man, but I want to go back to taking issue with the the Charger Challenger. What really bugs me, and I'm definitely stereotyping, but it seems like they're the guys that do these dang street shutdowns or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah, they're always the ones.
The takeovers. Like, God, dude, it's so like it's not the right place, not the right time, and you wonder why you guys get discriminated against. It's because you're the ones acting a fool in the car community. Like, you got dudes hanging out the side while your buddy's doing donuts. Dude recording gets hit by the car. Like, we need to take a break from grilling these Mustang guys from hitting people and look at the boats, because these boats be running people over at these like street shutdowns.
Yeah, I mean, those things really are pretty sad. I get why some people might do it when they live in areas not near a track, or they live somewhere where a track was destroyed.
Yeah.
I get it, but slideshows aren't the answer, man. Like, I don't know. There's better ways to do it. I would almost say just go to Mexico or something, instead of doing a slideshow.
Or just like be a little bit safer and go to a parking lot. Like, if I'm just trying
For sure. Why do it in an intersection? I mean, that's just stupid.
I'm just a big car enthusiast as the next guy, but if I'm trying to get home from work and some idiot's got the road shut down so he could do donuts, I'm gonna be like, dude, just do it in the parking lot. If somebody wants to stop and check it
They
out.
will typically do it in areas that aren't, real heavy with people.
Right.
But I've seen them do it in like there's one time in California, they was on that main highway by the coast.
Oh my God.
And they just shut that bitch down, dude. It was ridiculous how many people were there.
God.
Just doing shit in the middle of the road, blocking traffic. It was on the news everywhere that year.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of fading away a little bit. I think a lot of people just got cabin fever because of COVID and everything, and people just kind of was like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go do some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But it was always the Mopar guys. They were the ones doing it. And I take issue with a different kind of Mopar guy. I take issue with these dang cops driving dang blacked out ghost county written on it, like you can barely see it in the right angle. Like,
that's not even cool, man, when they do that.
Like, come on, man. Like, and two, whenever they're like mean to you about it, they're like, "Do you not see me?" Like, no,
Yeah,
I didn't.
I love it when they say that. Like, no, ain't that the point?
Like, yeah, you're like over here hiding in the bushes. Like, no, I did not see you. Be like, yeah, I sped up on purpose because I saw you.
Oh my God, this reminds me of this was a Mopar too.
Oh,
The
God.
Dodge truck in Smith's Grove, dude.
Oh my God.
You know where that school is, right? And
Yeah.
there's a sign. Well,
Yeah.
before you get to the sign, if you're leaving Smith's Grove on the left, like as soon as you turn, there's like a sign at this house. This cop was hiding behind the sign watching people. He got someone. He almost got me, but there's two people in front of me that were speeding, and he got the first one. But he was hiding, dude. He's in the shadows. I didn't see him until he pulled out.
I hate that. Like, do you
And
not
then
see
when
me?
I left, when I left, he was there, dude. Oh my god, it was so sneaky. I was like, yeah, it's just dirty.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think anybody, like, I don't know. I feel I have a whole debate on, like, traffic crime. It's just like cops act like it is the most heinous thing ever, especially if they're having a bad day. And it's like,
Oh,
man,
that's the worst.
go get somebody, like, trying to kidnap a kid or like trying to rob
Like
a
we all know
store.
you're just getting money for the fucking department when you do that.
And 90% of the time, if somebody's like speeding, it's probably because they're trying to get somewhere, and like you're keeping them from getting somewhere. It's
I mean,
like,
I'm not gonna say that. I do be speeding just to speed.
I mean, I don't do it all the time, but I mean, I'm guilty of doing it for sure. But
Well, I
like,
drive my car every day, so I mean,
yeah,
I just speed.
my Dakota speeding is a risky game because of it
Oh, I'm
falling
sure.
apart. I know when I'm
That's the
doing over.
shitbox life. That's why the S10 on the interstate never went over 70.
I got zip
I mean,
ties
it
holding my.
has, but let me tell you, it takes a while, but you can get up to 90.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Uh, but yeah, I think it's really, I don't know, the whole like cop thing. It's the whole reason why I don't really fool around with very much Charger guys, because you never know, man. Like, and a cop don't always have to be in like either a white or a gray car. For a little while in Bowling Green, we had a guy running around in, it might have even been a Mustang, but it was an undercover cop in like a street car, like trying to get street racers. It's like,
Yeah, I think it was a Mustang.
you can't always trust anybody, especially the Chargers, man. I just don't. They're slow anyways.
Nah.
I don't have nothing to prove to a
If a
dang Dodge
Corvette
Charger.
pulls up on you, you already know it's not a cop. Like, if it is, that's a bad day, man.
That's a bad day. Well, I remember seeing a post. You know where Somerset is, don't you?
Yeah, I've been through them.
I seen Somerset had a Grand Sport wrapped in a like a police livery. It said like Somerset
yeah, I've
Police
seen that.
Department. Yeah, like God, you ain't messing with him, buddy.
Sheesh. Yeah, I ain't trying to pull away from those C7 Grand Sport.
Nah, it don't. Plus, you got to outrun that radio too. That'd be like dang Need for Speed Most Wanted
I
right
love how
there.
Mopar. Let's talk about these Mopar guys always saying they're always going for the Corvettes.
Yeah, I know.
You ain't getting the Corvettes, dog. I don't care if you're in a Hellcat. A fucking bolt-on fucking C7 might give you a run for your money.
Okay, yeah, that reminds me of a whole different tangent. Like you said, they pick on these Corvette guys because they think, oh, that's the next fastest American domestic car. Like these guys, all they care about is drag racing. You want to say you can't take a Hellcat? I mean, even like a Hellcat against a 1LE on the track, you ain't got it, buddy. Like, you're not gonna be cornering as good as that 1LE Camaro. Like, you're just not.
For sure, you're putting out the Corvette's putting out 455 horsepower, so it's right there with the SRT guys. But it weighs 3,300 pounds. A C7, not even a Grand Sport, just the base.
And power to weight on like a Corvette's way more impressive. I mean, like, you're gonna be spinning for days in like a demon if you're trying to like launch it hard. Corvette's gonna be out of there.
Yeah, for sure. It's got 291 horsepower to weight. So it's right up there with a Carrera GTS, a BMW M6,
That's crazy.
a Lotus E-Spirit, a CL65 AMG. I mean, it's up there. Just a stock Corvette. And then also it's got way better braking distance. And then let's see if it's got 0 to 60 here. This is from fastestlaps.com, by the way. They're pretty certified on this stuff.
Yeah.
0 to 100 is 12.6. It's not giving me a 0 to 60, I don't think.
Yeah. That's another thing too. Like, these Dodge guys, they just run their mouth so much more than anybody in the car community.
They just really give me bad vibes, at least around here. It could be different up north where it's a lot more Mopar guys. There could be a lot more cooler than Mopar people.
It's like all they
'Cause
care.
obviously, I'm not going to say all of them are like that.
Yeah. It's just like all they care about is horsepower numbers, and like that's just
Yeah.
that's the thing nowadays. Like 1,000 horsepower, if you make 1,000
Oh yeah,
horsepower, you got
everyone's
something.
got to have the number. It's never about the efficiency or the torque below your peak power. It's always just about that number. It's not about the rest of the curve.
Yeah, we could kind of tie all this together. Say you're doing a roll race where power matters. the Hellcat guy is like gapping, say like a Fidgen or whatever. Okay, a cop shows up. What are you gonna do? You gonna take a back road? Yeah, try doing like whatever's 120 going down a back road. You ain't cornering for nothing, buddy. You're gonna be out in the field.
For sure. I mean, these things are doing like 11.5 from factory apparently. The C7s.
Jeez.
And you're gonna talk smack to them like the Hellcat's barely doing better than that. And that's a stock C7. That's not even a cam or nothing.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the Gen 5s, if you think the LS picks up from a cam, the Gen 5s are even more.
Yeah, that is the. I mean, an LS is such a blank surface for like modifications. It's crazy. Like it's so easy just to do.
I want to get on a small tangent here because I was thinking about this today. This is a dear Ford owner moment. These 5.0 fuckers. I'm about tired of hearing the 5.0 is the best damn engine ever made. Don't get me wrong. It's great. It's efficient, but the problem is you're limited by displacement when you go into the big boy power numbers. I mean, sure, it's easy to get 1,000. But how easy is it to go to 1,500? Okay, now we're talking like fucking no coyotes, really going up there on the street. And I'll say the LSs probably aren't either, but you're going to see a lot more LSs at the 1,500 to 2,000 number than coyotes. Because the LS is just a better platform for that. And that's what I hate when people argue about, 5.0 this, 5.0 that at the drag strip. Like, there's a lot of Ford purists that really aggravate me with that.
I mean, what's that saying? There's no replacement for displacement.
That's exactly right. When you make more torque, you have a lot more potential for horsepower. Torque will always outdo it. You can rev more, but you're going to lose torque. The more you rev, the more torque you lose. The only way to get more torque is like a turbo or boost or something.
Yeah, E85.
But that's still not a true replacement for displacement.
Right. I mean, that's the one thing like you said, there's literally no replacement for it.
Don't get me wrong, you can boost smaller engines, 2 liters and stuff, and make 1,000 horsepower, but it's really hard compared to something with more displacement.
Yeah.
So when you got guys who drop the same amount of money on mods on their big blocks or big bore, V8s, it's a no-brainer.
I agree, 100%.
You can go. You look at these Viper guys. This is a perfect example of a good Mopar. The Viper guys, they're making 3,000 horsepower, and it's all because of the displacement. They're still a pushrod V8, and they're making that kind of number. I mean, what more do you got to say?
It is impressive.
The most powerful engines in the world have crazy displacement. So
yeah, I mean, the Copo 632,
I mean, all your
these big Aussie methanol cars.
Yeah, I mean, let me look up top fuel. I know it's a Hemi, but I don't know the displacement.
I mean, even like Steve Morse big blocks, they are all like
that's a perfect example.
They're making like 3,000 horsepower. Like some people can't even fathom something making 3,000 horsepower. Like the Meta is 1,000. You imagine a Steve Morse big block making 3,000 horsepower, 3,500.
You want to know how many decimals a top fuel car generates at full throttle?
Like, probably 300.
150.
Oh, okay.
That's more than like a concert.
Yeah.
It's literally, they can be measured on the Richter scale. It was measured on the Richter scale once as like a 3 point something.
God.
And then also they use like 10 gallons of fuel in a pass.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah, 12 gallons to 22 gallons. During warm-up, burnout, staging, and quarter mile.
I mean, I was just talking to my coworker. He runs his big block Ford on alcohol, and he's got like a 5-gallon fuel cell. He's like, hey, I'm out of gas in like 2 passes. That alcohol runs so fast.
Oh, it's just like E85, which is pretty much alcohol,
Yeah.
So they're forged aluminum blocks with obviously iron sleeves.
What are you talking about? The top fuel cars?
Yeah, I'm trying to see displacement performance to 8,500 to 10,000 horsepower is the guess, because people are like, how don't you know? Well, horsepower is just a measurement, so we take what we can know about it and measure around it just like we would another engine. See, it's showing block specs but not bore. I really want to see bore real quick before we get done with this.
Yeah. on
I want to
the
see the displacement because I'm very interested. Because this just goes right into my argument about why LSs are better. Because you're getting these really big bore LSs from these aftermarket blocks. You're not seeing that with Coyotes, and that's why I like the LS more. It's just a more easier platform to build around. There's a lot more potential.
I think we could almost just go through and redo our whole LS versus Coyote debate, but we could actually incorporate somebody who can back up the Coyote a little bit better than I did originally in our first podcast episode. I feel like we could revisit that.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe if you know somebody that is a really big Coyote purist or Coyote guy that has some interesting points other than we don't kill crowds and all that stereotypes, that would be really nice to hit us up and maybe have an interesting interview with somebody.
Yeah, it would be. I'm trying to look somewhere else for this displacement real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I'm also trying to find the displacement. I found the big block that Cletus runs, but there's like no.
Everyone knows they're based off the 426, but I just ain't seeing displacement.
Yeah, I'm also not seeing anything too crazy. It's just saying like custom push rods, ARP heads, just stuff like
You know what
basic
the
stuff.
compression is? I'm really surprised by this, but I guess I'm not because they have a lot of boost, obviously.
Yeah,
But they're 6.5 to 1.
6.5 to 1.
They see 300 psi of old pressure cold.
Oh my god.
The fuel line is 3 inches thick because it flows so much. Dude, most fuel lines aren't even an inch thick. Like, they're like an inch at most. They're not usually like 2 inches or like that's crazy.
Uh,
They actually go to 8,000 RPM too at their board, like their big displacement. So that's pretty crazy too.
sheesh. I'm let's
We could
see.
probably do a whole episode about this if you really wanted, because there's so much cool stuff about these things that I could talk all day about them.
Yeah, I wish I could just do better research on engines so I can add more to the conversation on, the actual engineering aspects and, like every all the stuff that I don't know about the engine side of things. Because what I'm learning through you and, slowly. I can't just sit down and really focus on that, all at once.
So it's actually using a LS firing order on some of them is what they do, and also small block Chevy.
Really?
So that's interesting too. I did not know that. I wonder why they changed that compression ratio. It's probably due to the vibrations, and it probably just runs a little smoother like that. I know that's why they switched on the LS from the typical Gen 2 small block firing order. It actually loses a little power, but it's a little more less vibrations and harmonics. I, for the life of me, cannot find the displacement. Oh, they're 496 cubic inches, and they're limited to 500. So they can go up a little bit to 500. So yeah, I mean, they're not even like a 632 or nothing. I mean, it's all in the fuel and head blower. I mean, it's all of it is custom, really. It's
Yeah.
not like any street car.
Uh, Man, I just can't find very much about this engine. I mean, it's a 555 cubic inch big block. Man, I'm just not. The bore size is 4.5 inches. I'm just not finding anything about compression. Oh well. It looks like I don't know how old this is, but it says they're giving away one at PRI.
That is wild. I didn't notice that whenever I went.
Yeah, maybe they're
Just
doing
during that
extra.
time.
Well, let's throw it to a quick ad break and let's get into the gaming topic. So we hit up Party Animals pretty hard over the weekend. It was just released, and I kind of want to get your take on it because just a vibe check on you. I feel like it's a little you're not as into it as I am.
I mean, I'm definitely not into it as much as Gang Beast, but I am into it. I do enjoy playing it.
Yeah, A few things that I don't like about it is I don't like how the last stand really isn't last stand because you have a teammate. I wish they would segregate that game mode into a true last stand.
What
And
are you talking about?
the party animals.
Yeah, we mean like Last Stand. Wait, are you
The
talking about where you're spectating and you can throw shit?
No, I'm talking about the game mode last stand where it's like you have to throw somebody off the map. How there's teams instead of like everybody for themselves, like on Game Beast.
Oh yeah, you're talking about it's not just a pure free for all. It's always team based.
Yeah, even though it says last stand, it's like not really. You got a teammate. I'm not.
Yeah, I do. I think they could possibly add some game modes in the future. Maybe if the community gives enough push, they would. So if anyone listening plays, maybe mention that in a review or something.
I don't know. The game got so review bombed from the get go because of that stupid like comment. Yeah, you could play offline, and you couldn't, and like everybody threw such a big fit about
I
it.
mean, I do agree a game should have that feature nowadays when it comes out, but that's
Review
really
bombing.
not the worst thing ever.
Review bombing isn't the way about
I'm
selling
really
to
surprised
developers.
there even was. Like, I'm surprised that many people are doing LAN and stuff nowadays, or just
Yeah, me
with
too.
their
Online
friends.
gaming. Online gaming is such a big thing
And
now.
maybe it's more on the console side. I could see that for sure, but on the PC side, I really don't see that
Yeah.
unless it's LAN. But I mean, you could do console LAN too, I guess. So I mean, I don't know. I can see it for the people who do that stuff, but our friend group just doesn't do that.
Yeah. I guess we can keep going in on the bad stuff before we get into what we enjoy. Another thing that I don't...
Yeah, I got a few things I could mention.
Yeah, I know this is probably one of yours, but the whole unconscious system, I hate it. Like, it's like... It feels randomized, but not like... super. It feels like whenever I'm knocked out for a long time, it's not as long as I was prior. It feels random, and
Yeah, I agree.
there's like two durations. You're either knocked out for a little bit longer of a time and then a shorter amount of time. I wish it was the same as Gang Beasts, where the more you got
Yeah,
knocked
it's really
out,
not like that at all.
and I don't like how if you get knocked out like 3 times in a row, you just die. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, it seems like the first two are pretty similar, and then that last one, you're knocked out a minute. And it might also, it could be something to do with what you're knocked out with, too. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Like, if they had a weapon, it might be more, because I feel like one time no, so one of y'all was knocked out for a minute, I remember.
I don't know. I know for sure I've been knocked out like for a minute right off the bat before, and it's so frustrating because like
Yeah, it is longer than Gang Beast off the first one, I will say that.
yeah. But then another thing that I want to complain about big time is the movement is nothing like Gang Beasts, and I can't really hold that against them because it's not Gang Beasts, and a lot of us just need to realize that.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't compare it too much to Gang Beast.
I will say it's a lot more user friendly because Gang Beast, as you've used a lot of your time in mastering the movement system, and of course that took a lot of time. Whereas on Party Animals, I feel like mastering the movement system takes like not long at all. Like you can definitely have all the basics.
It definitely takes a minute to get used to.
Yeah, but compared to Gang Beasts, I don't think it takes as long.
Yeah, if you're starting on a fresh slate, I would say you're fine. But if you have played quite a bit of Gang Beasts and you were thinking it's going to be similar, I wouldn't even go into it thinking that. I would go in with a fresh mind, no thoughts of that.
Yeah, some of like the controls of Gang Beasts, playing a brawler style game, it really had me pressing the wrong buttons pretty often, especially climbing. Climbing's it, gosh.
Yeah, and I want to mention this kind of goes in hand with that. You can't control separate hands is something I really dislike.
Yeah,
I really feel like I should be able to hold with one and punch with one, just like on Gang Beasts. I feel like that's just basic, melee on a game such as this, because it seems like other games similar to Gang Beasts have that kind of movement.
Yeah. I kind of hope deep down that this drives Gang Beasts to either keep developing their game further, just adding more maps, of course, because I feel like the game is extremely polished, other than like the weird map glitches where you don't load in.
Yeah, or even to mention the one map, it's got the ice. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, yeah, Buoy.
Yeah, that map is so glitchy with the map. Like, they should have patched that by now.
And plus that map too, it just drags on. They have the shark that comes in. A lot of the stuff that comes in at the end and ends the game needs to come in a lot sooner. That's
But that's something else we can mention about party animals is there's only like one or two maps where there's really much going on. Like there's two I can think of off the top of my head when it comes to that. There's the snow one where the fires burn out, and then there's the oh, I was just thinking about it.
you're saying the matches are too fast paced.
Yeah, and then the black hole.
Yeah.
No, not too fast paced. It's like there's only two maps with it. I like, it could come in later
Yeah.
on some maps, I think, but there's not that whole like map can like on Billboard you can destroy the whole map or
Yeah. Or
like
the tower,
girders.
the lighthouse, you can do the same thing.
Girders, you can take the blocks, like
Yeah.
there's so much you can be creative with on there, and it seems like there really isn't as much creativeness. It's just it's like Smash Bros. It's pick up weapon fight, and that's it. It's not, you could pick up a barrel and swing it around or something, like.
Pretty much. And the guy with the nunchucks or the shovel, whoever has the bigger weapon is going to be in control, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, I can kind of mention I don't like how nunchucks knock yourself out. I get it, but it's kind of silly, really. I think it's just
It's a risk reward
I can
thing.
understand it because it's OP.
Yeah.
So it definitely should have that, I think. But it's kind of silly at the same time.
Yeah, I agree.
You can get like one swing off and then you're knocked out. You didn't even hit no one.
It's like they either need to remove that or make it to where any weapon can malfunction in some way to harm the player. Like the ice gun backfires and freezes you. Same with
That would be cool, yeah.
Yeah, they need
But
to level it.
that's something else I can complain about is aiming.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm sure
abysmal.
you've complained about it. I mean, it's just like you know what your character does when you shoot. He just auto tracks the closest target, so you don't do nothing. That's literally what he does. That's how I shoot people. I don't do nothing. I just hit fire and sit still, and it works better.
There's a lot to party animals that we haven't discovered yet. You have like 5 hours, I have like 9. It's I was even flipping through some of the achievements. There's actually an achievement you can get if you know that Ichiban map where the gas is closing in.
Yeah.
So there's a way to win the match with being in the gas. So what you have to do,
I got a rare one on there. I thought I'm gonna look.
So on Ichiban, you have to get frozen in a solid block of ice and slide off the map, because if you're in the ice, you can't inhale the gas, so you'll win.
Okay, so there's one in Black Lab, which you knock out someone while floating. That's pretty easy.
Yeah. That is one thing that attributes to the great part of the game is the microtransactions. Each achievement grants you a certain amount of currency, and in the game currency, you can spend it to buy the skins, or you could use actual money. That is something
If
that...
I got a battle pass on release, I can respect the freak out of that.
Yeah, I wish more games...
They're not pushing a battle pass already. I hate when games are out and they already got a battle pass and they're not even polished, but they got the battle pass. Like, that aggravates me to death.
Yeah. I'm glad this game is polished. I was going to be pretty upset if it came out and it had bugs galore, because this game...
Especially with how long they put it off.
Yeah, the game's been being in creation for so long, and I'm sure Xbox, them putting it on Xbox didn't help any, because there's a lot of licensing that goes into play, especially putting it on the Game Pass. I feel like they could have released it a lot sooner just on PC. The game seems pretty simple. It does have really good graphics, and I will say there's 22 maps. There's 2 maps that are only in the arcade mode, which look extremely fun. I wish they would implement those into the normal rotation. There's a couple maps that I'm not too big a fan of, and that's just because of how extremely fast they go by, and that's the alligator tongue one. That one's just so quick, and the bridge one's pretty rough too. It's just so fast.
Yeah, that one is rough.
It's like, if you got a player that is really accurate with their drop kicks, you're done, because they just have to knock you out one time. And
yeah,
you're
they
out.
just, like, if you spawn on the edge, you're done, and I kind of dislike that, which I can't say too much, because Gang Beast is like that on, especially like Ring and some other maps.
Yeah, the billboard for sure.
Yeah, Billboard is probably one of my least favorites, just because
cargo
if you
one,
don't
too.
get a good start. Yeah, that one too.
Headbutt.
There's a few like that on Gang Beasts. That's one of my biggest complaints of it.
Yeah, there should be like some sort of cooldown timer for how fast you could be knocked out at the very start of the match.
Yeah, maybe like a second and a half, or maybe a full second.
Yeah. So what do you think about the what they did different from Gang Beasts is the whole... which Gang Beasts did have it, but it wasn't as popular. With the matchmaking and party animals, you have these like sports style games like hockey, football, soccer.
I don't mind it, but I do wish there was more like a brawl mode, kind of like Gang Beasts.
So you don't like the set matchmaking where you don't get to delegate what game mode you're playing specifically.
Yeah, I wish they would add in different, kind of like Fall Guys or something, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. Uh, One thing I
But
think.
I will say one last thing. This is probably my last complaint is the team modes. I'm not a fan of.
Why is that?
Well, I guess it's more so when I'm not playing with a full lobby of friends. Because when we get some random teammates, man, it's like they just don't know what they're doing. I feel like if they did smaller like games of like 3 teams of 3 or 4 teams of 2, like that would be fun.
Yeah.
Like the sports games like that, like it could be 4 goals on each, like one corner of the map is a goal or something cool. Like that would be really crazy, and that'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah, and I mean it's the same spectrum where if you're a lot of the situations we play with 3 players, and typically one of us has to be with the random on the last stand game modes. And
Yeah,
it's like,
that's really annoying.
God, you're with the guy who literally dies at the start every single time, not because he's got bad luck, it's just because he's terrible, and it's like you're at a disadvantage. And a lot of these achievements or daily challenges requires you to win, and it's like I can't do my challenges because I got a dummy on my team. Like just let me play
You gotta
solo.
carry 'em.
Yeah, pretty much. I definitely understand some of your Rocket League frustrations because this is the first game that I wouldn't say I'm playing competitively, but I'm trying to do pretty good at it. It's I think it's a lot of fun. I've put my time in, and
Yeah, I agree. It is fun. I would recommend getting it if you can get it for free. For sure, get it. And if you're gonna spend $30 on it, which I think I did actually,
you bought
which
the
I think if you're on
premium.
PC, I didn't buy the premium. I bought the regular.
Oh, it's 19 then, and 20.
Yeah, $20. I mean, I can give up $20 for a game that, seems pretty interesting. Which, I guess after our time in it, I would say it's worth $20.
I mean, we paid 70 for 2042, and look what we got.
God, I don't even.
But
That's ridiculous, right there.
the kind of the last point that I wanted to make about the what I really enjoy about it that they did differently from a lot of brawler style games is they keep the spectator on the game because of that interaction you can do with the game as a spectator. That's the biggest drawback to Gang Beasts is if somebody's like dying constantly, I mean they're just going to leave and you can't blame them,
Yeah.
If they're getting outskilled, they're going to die, but
There's no incentive.
if you're like dying to the same guy every time, like, all right, just kill me faster so I can throw a bomb at you. Like, it's you have
Yeah, I really do like the way that is on Party Animals. That is probably one of my favorite things.
and the bomb is so OP, and it's like you
Yeah, I
save
love
up
the
for
bomb.
it. I would say that for the bomb being super OP, they did a well way of balancing it because really, if the match lasts, I would say a decent time. I think you could get up to 3 bombs because it takes so long
If
to
you
get a
die at
bomb.
the start.
Yeah, and it's so hard to not be like, man, I could hit a fish right now. I can, but I got to save up for that bomb. It's like you gotta kind of strategize how you're gonna use
It's
your
fun using the
coins.
fish and stuff too, though. I love it. It's hilarious.
Just see that one guy you hate trying to climb up, and you hit him
Yeah,
dead
you
with
just
that
hit him.
knockout fish. He's
Because if they stand still, it's over.
done. Yeah.
You can knock them out with the bomb too. That's hilarious.
Yeah, they get knocked out and blew up. I think I got an
Yeah, it's
achievement.
like it's over when that happens.
I got an achievement on that the alligator tongue map because I dropped a bomb and it killed 3 people. I got like an achievement for that.
Eesh.
I'm like, yes, sir.
Triple kill.
Beyond the grave for real.
He had Marty Dom.
Pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much all I have for party animals. Do you have anything else you want to add before we talk about something else?
I'm trying to think. I do like the weapons, but I feel like they could have a little more variety because it seems like it's pretty basic on the. It's something you hold in your hands, except the boomerang. That is kind of cool. Something a little different there. The guns, the bows. I feel like they could just have a little bit more variety. Maybe like a spear or something. Something with some range that like you throw.
The net gun
Unlike
would be
the
cool.
boomerang. Yeah, like a net gun would be super cool,
Yeah.
or like a gun that makes you like, that one gun in GTA that makes you like fly up in the air, like propulsion gun or something.
Or like a paralyzer from Black Ops 3.
Yeah, I mean, just something crazy like that would be cool. There's all kinds of room for stuff on there.
Yeah.
Be real creative with it.
Yeah, I agree. And the game's fresh. It's still I would hope that they're still gonna put updates in the game. You know, it's brand new, it's fresh. We'll see. I'm expecting good things from the game. It's already got good bones.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing nothing on it. Once it came out, it's just got issues with game description and split screen is all they have. They responded to that feedback, but I'm not seeing nothing else yet. So we still got a while to see. It's only been like a week.
Yeah, people. It seems like people haven't found bugs yet, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to see some in the future. You know, people find ways to break games. That's kind of our job as gamers to find exploits. Any advantage is their advantage.
I do. One more thing I like is the end screen. I really do like the end screen.
Oh, yeah. That is fun. It's like, God.
I like the gorilla skin. I don't know why. It's just hilarious.
I think his name is kind of funny. I can't remember. There's a description for each animal. I think his name's like Barbie or something feminine, and it's like a big buff gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the different skins in the game for sure. The variety of animals you can be, and like I said, you can unlock literally all of them. It's kind of great.
Yeah. I haven't really experimented with the skins. I've just been saving my points.
Saving up. They have like daily skins and everything. It's kind of neat. It's like it almost incentivizes you to kind of hop on and be like, hey, what skins are up today? You know.
Yeah, I haven't even looked. I have no clue what any of them are.
I got a few cool skins, that's for sure. I'm starting to collect them. At least trying to get
the
every
other
character.
game mode seems pretty fun too, though. I'm looking at a little bit of it.
The arcade game mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried it, but the map looked really fun. There's like a saloon
I feel
bar
like we
style.
should try that.
Yeah, I would definitely be down for that. There's one game mode that you haven't played yet, I don't think. Have you played the one with the arcade machine? It's a score-based game. Yeah, it's kind of... I didn't really like it, but I feel like it's just because I had a bad team. But essentially, there's two arcade machines up on a stage, and only one person can be in control at a time. And it's like this weird game where your character has to collect stuff that drops down, and you got to do that while your team's trying to keep people off of you from knocking you out. It was a little frustrating, but I feel like it'd be a lot more fun with other players. I think there's other maps. I don't think I've even played all the maps with all the time I've gotten to the game. There's a lot of maps. I mean, 20 maps is a lot.
For sure.
But before we hop off here, I wanted to talk about something that, you know, is kind of a moot point, but it's also a big debate. You know, we got the console wars, you know, back in our high school days and middle school even. It was a big thing, you know, if you had PS, Xbox, PC. I mean, even that viral animation that came out way back then with the console wars. That's what I think about whenever I think about it.
Yeah, the Flash skits, that's hilarious.
Yeah, Master Race being the PC, you know, of course. I don't know. I know somebody personally that will still argue that, like, why would I buy a PC? Why would I spend, $1,000, $2,000 for something that I'm just going to have to upgrade parts in? I don't think console people realize how long we have to go before having to upgrade parts.
Yeah, for sure. I've been on literally the same motherboard, SSD, hard drive since I built my PC in 2017, 18. So it's been a while, and really, most of the parts are not super expensive, like RAM, SSDs, motherboards.
We had that scare with the graphics card because of the Bitcoin mining, but that was literally
I will say, though, they still are kind of up there in price, especially the NVIDIAs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of leaning more towards AMD here lately, I ain't gonna lie.
I'm running AMD. I don't have any problem with it.
I'm probably gonna, my new build, I'm pretty certain I'm going AMD, which really I was not going into it, but I guess just a quick little segment on my PC build.
Of course.
It's been a while since I built a PC. It's been a few years, and I really haven't kept up with the technology on the hardware and software. And what really swayed me to go AMD is their constant upgrading of their software for even their older graphics cards. Like they're some pretty old ones, and they're getting boosts still because there's software enhancements that are coming out. And that's something NVIDIA never does. And then also the price to performance seems a little better with AMD, especially on the GPUs.
Yeah.
You can definitely go a lot cheaper on the GPUs and still have good performance, even like 1440p stuff.
Sheesh.
So that's really what I'm trying to do is 1440p, maybe low graphics quality 4K. I don't feel like it'd maybe do like medium settings 4K. I don't know if it'd get 60 FPS for sure, but I'm just gonna do I think it's a Radeon 7800 XT, and then I can't remember the CPU, but it's a really popular, cheaper kind of performer.
Yeah.
I wish I remembered it.
I'm like you though. It's like I feel like the same people that argue, console is better are the same people that go out and buy an iPhone as soon as it comes out. Like, yeah, they come out with a new graphics card every year. That don't necessarily mean you need to buy it to keep up. Trisha's PC's rocking a graphics card that's probably made like 10 years ago, and it'll still run Arc like with low graphics. I mean, that's saying something. Arc is a humongous, high demanding game.
Yeah.
I
was running Warzone 1 with a 1050 Ti and I think originally an i3. So I mean, you can do it on a budget. I did it for $1,000 when I first did, which, I mean, it is more than a console by a few $100, but it depends on what you want to do. I can get why you want a PlayStation for Sony games. I can get why you want an Xbox if you just want to play Halo with the boys or whatever. But yeah, it's all what you want to do. And I think really, if you're wanting performance or wanting to be a little bougie, PC is your option.
Yeah, and PC is like after you buy one, I mean, you can like you're doing, you can build one. If you buy a pre-built, and I did it myself with my first pre-built, you can interchange out parts like to upgrade it a little bit. Add some extra RAM sticks. Put your new graphics card in, as long as it fits in your case. Go for it. It's kind of like building a car. You got the bones there. All you got to do is upgrade
now
it.
You just gotta fill it in.
Yeah, that's what I always thought was neat.
You do whatever fuel system you want, aka power supply, whatever engine you want, aka we'll say CPU, and GPU's your trans. Maybe I would argue more it's the other way around, and then your motherboard would be your ECU, even though it's kind of all on one.
Yeah,
I would say your RAM is your it kind of goes in with the engine as well.
Yeah,
we'll say that's your induction system. No, it can't be that. You got that on a PC. I don't know.
Anyways,
it's kind of hard to do all that compared, but
yeah, and
that's kind of fun.
Another thing too, like you said, the interchanging out parts, that's something you don't get any of with having a console. You don't get any customization. I'm looking in my glass case right now. I got full RGB. My RAM sticks are RGB. My fans are RGB. Everything is like colorful. I can make it whatever color I want. I want flash, strobe, stay still, slowly transition. Console, man, like, what are you going to do? You just got a black box there, buddy. Yeah, it goes doop doop whenever you turn it on, but I mean, like, that's all you got, buddy. My car makes the same sound whenever I lock and unlock it. Cool. That's kind of just that's not something necessary, but that's just another,
I guess we flexing here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a huge plus. Like, you have that personalization of having a PC. Plus, like, console guys, it's just like, personally, I don't see very many console guys that play at a desk. Most everybody plays on their couch.
Yeah, most are typically couch for sure.
That's a whole nother thing. I'm telling you, you don't understand the feel of being a gamer until you sit down at a desk and have your monitors, everything fired up. It's just like you feel in the zone. You feel like you have your space. My space is my desk, what I got on my desk. Everything is in my space. But if I'm just chilling on the couch, I'm just on the couch, man. That's not my space. That's everybody's space.
And that's also why I think, you see people who are good on console, they typically play at a desk where you're not on a big screen.
Right.
If you want to be in the competitive scene, I think PC is definitely the way to go. You can also Twitch from your PC. If you want to be a content creator, you're going to need a PC anyways. There's just a lot of reason to do it if you're not being casual.
Hey, my coworker was just telling me the other day, he's like, dude, Battlefield, I was trying to figure out what would make me a little bit better at Battlefield, and he's like, apparently you adjust the field of view slider. He's like, that's like something brand new. I'm like, are you serious? I was like, that's something we've had forever.
That's every game on PC ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's, I mean, just having field of
It's
view
new to
is,
consoles though. I mean, that's exactly another point. Is console just now on Call of Duty's getting a field of view slider, and PC has had it since like the OG CODs, I think.
and if you don't know what that is, just imagine like you see the horse and buggy going down the roads,
Think
or
of like a fisheye
pretty much.
camera.
Like you're going down the Kentucky Derby, and the horse, he's got little blinders on the side so he can't see the crowd and get distracted. That's literally that. You're limited by like so many degrees by having the not having field of view slider. I had no idea either. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I remember when you first learned about it, and I was telling you, it's like, yeah, it's better. And people usually, when they first do it, they don't think it's good until you'll realize your peripheral vision is so much better.
Ain't nobody trying to knife me on Battlefield. I can see you coming. I'm like,
that's right, boy.
I got like 4 eyes. I'm like a horse and a like human mixed together. I got eyes on the side and the front. But I'm not knocking Xbox. I had an Xbox for so long. I always grew up on consoles. Just now getting a PC now. It's just for what I originally had. I was originally a diehard console guy. I was against PC. I'm like, why would I spend all that money whenever I can buy an Xbox for like $500? But you have to realize your system is going to be unsupported after the next generation comes, and you're going to be stuck. Yeah, and that's
another problem I got, because PC, at least you can, run the newer games on an outdated system, and it'll still usually run it enough.
Yeah, and even if it won't, you still have that opportunity to try. Why don't you go take like an Xbox One game and go pop it in your original Xbox? It ain't gonna work. Like, I can play games that came out, however many years ago up to now. It doesn't matter. I have a PC. I can play whatever I want. There's not that option with Xbox. Granted, they've started coming up with backwards compatibility, and that's awesome. I love to see that. I was such a big fan of it. It should have been implemented a lot sooner, but it's something that limited console players insanely. There's nothing worse than not being able to play the classics, man. Like,
for sure.
If I still had an Xbox One now, I'd be like, man, I want to hop on some like dang Black Ops 2, but I can't. I can on PC. I can hop on any Call of Duty I want. That's and another thing too. If you're a big indie game fan like myself, like I love indie games. Most of my favorite games are indie games. They just don't come out on console because of publishing issues. Like Steam is so like great. I'm pretty sure me or you could make a game and put it on Steam. Like it's great the way Steam is, and even the Steam Deck. I'd love to get my hands on a Steam Deck one day. It's they seem like such great systems, but just back to the console thing, you're so limited by not being able to play all these games, and a lot of these titles, like, is it Gears of War that you really like?
Oh yeah, I love Gears of War.
It's not on PC or PS, right?
No, it's Xbox and Steam.
See, that's a lot of these exclusive titles. It's kind of funny too, because it's like PC's the one that's between everything.
Yeah, that's why I like PC too.
It's so great because like Ratchet and Clank, PS exclusive, Halo, Xbox
I love
exclusive.
Ratchet and Clank though. That's my least favorite one that we don't get.
Yeah, but Ratchet, the newest Ratchet and Clank's on Steam.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. But that is the thing. Like, yes, it might be exclusive to one console, but it's not exclusive. It's not inexclusive for us. We can still play it because PC's the middleman. I love it, man. It's like PC never misses a beat whenever it comes to these games, and it's really awesome to not be left out. There's nothing worse than getting left out on a title. I remember back in the day in high school, like people would be like, man, I want to play Halo so bad. Buddies would come to your house. I had a buddy that had a PlayStation. He's like, man, I love coming over to your house and playing Halo. Like, you just got to buy an Xbox, buddy. It's like, I can't get one.
You're missing out.
Yeah, you're missing out on Halo, one of the most legendary games ever made.
Halo is the OG Halo's like Halo 3, Halo Reach. Man, that's the days.
Yeah, especially like Halo Reach, the Firestorm, like the survival mode, dude. I love
that was so good, and that's really not talked about anymore.
I know, it was so good. And then, like, you could make it to where like the grunts exploded confetti, and like there was so much you could do on there. God, me and Logan like tore it up, man. There's nothing worse or nothing funner than like. I remember just one map. There's like this bunker you can hide out in, and it would just get so chaotic that we would have to like blast our way out just to make it to a warthog to like survive a few extra rounds using like a Gus hog.
I love the Goss hog on there too. We can do a whole episode on Halo. Really, I think Halo's. We did one on Infinite, didn't we? But I don't think we've done like a full Halo series, have we?
Yeah, maybe even do like a Halo tier list where we break them down. That would be
That's
fun.
a good one too. I know of all the Halos, the story, but I haven't played all of them. I know pretty much about most of the older ones.
I've played every single Halo except for ODST and Wars, which you were a big fan of Halo
Oh,
Wars.
I love Wars.
I know.
I played the beta for Halo Wars too.
I know you and Logan played it together because that's kind of the game that you and him like playing together was Halo Wars.
Dude, Halo Wars original was my shit.
If we talk about Halo, we probably have to bring Logan on. Logan is like me; he's played every Halo.
For sure.
Logan was big. He's played ODST also. Yeah, that Logan's
Yeah,
like.
I remember playing Halo Wars with Logan. That was fun.
Yeah.
That's a hard game too. It's just hard to be good at. It was pretty competitive.
Is it like kind of like tower defense in a way?
Yeah, in a way, and I kind of like that whole style of game.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of balloon tower defense. I know you guys played it back in school. I'm just now finding out about it. I was a big tower defense fan for I don't know how I never came across it. It's crazy.
You know what we could do another episode on? I feel like people would really like to talk about this. Is those Flash games
Oh, dude,
like Happy Wheels?
You need to stop. I've been on a binge. I don't know how I came across them, but like I was just scrolling YouTube on like the homepage, and it was like I got to rank 10 or serving so and so 2,000 wings on Papa's Wingeria, and I was like, huh? I was like, I love the Papa's games, dude. They were so much fun. And this guy, he still plays them to this day, and it reminds me of Rage Quit because he gets super like heated and angry and screams at the planes. And dude, I'll have to send you one of his videos. He is like so entertaining to watch. It's like 10 minutes long. You usually watch him on my like lunch breaks. He is so hilarious.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was super funny you brought that up, being that that's something that's like I've been watching recently is Flash games.
Yeah, they're awesome for what they are.
Absolutely. White games, dude. My school didn't allowed it for like so long. And then finally
there's
they
one
caught
I
on.
used to play on. I can't remember, but I used to play it at my grandparents' all the time, I remember.
Yeah, definitely Happy Wheels it'd be good to talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
Happy Wheels deserves it.
That's an OG game. I mean,
It
everyone
is.
knows Happy Wheels.
Some people were gamers just because they played Happy Wheels in middle school.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, with that all being said, let's throw it to an outro, and we will catch you guys next week. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to follow and rate the podcast. Make sure you turn on those notifications. We drop an episode every Friday morning. You're not going to want to miss next episode where we do a little bit of a collaboration, possibly with MCR Tuning again. With that being said, we'll catch you guys in the next one.